Hey there, I'm Greg Finn,
And I'm Jess Butt.
and it is officially Marketing O'Clock here on April 12th, 2019. Remember, you can catch our famous Friday news shows each and every Friday morning.
If you want to follow along with us in our show notes, just head over to marketingoclock.com for all the links from today's articles.
And please subscribe so that you don't miss a single episode. First up this week, Google has had a de-indexing issue, to be precise, that is now fixed.
Is it?
We think so, finally. And so what happened was on Saturday, the 6th of April, Google had come out and confirmed that there was a technical issue that was now fixed. And this was John Mueller. And he had said, we had a technical issue on our side for a while there. This should be resolved in the meantime. And all the affected URLs reprocessed.
For a while there?
For a while.
Is that like an actual unit of time?
Technical, yes. I believe like a couple.
A couple what?
The couples too.
So a couple days?
Well, a while there is
I
3.5.
Oh, gotcha. Because a few is 3 or more.
Is it?
I don't
Fortnite?
know. Well, it's not a couple.
Fortnite the game? Is that a game?
Yeah. 7 years ago?
Oh, what am I thinking of? What is the
A
famous
fortnight's, I think it's a time.
Gettysburg Address? How does that start out?
Fourscore and Fortnite.
Yes. But the interesting thing was when this was announced by John Mueller of Google on Saturday, it actually wasn't fixed. And so Google came back out on Sunday and said, just a short update on this. Again, this was John. Indeed, it does look like there are still some pages that need to be reprocessed. Our systems are making good progress here, but it's taking longer than I initially expected. So nice on that.
Yes, thank you.
And this appears to have started maybe on the 5th, maybe on the 4th. Definitely on the 5th is where there was some indication. That would have been last Friday. So this Wednesday here, Wednesday the 10th, it seems that everything was finally fixed. And Danny Sullivan at Search Liaison on Twitter says that the indexing issue has now been fully resolved. We apologize for the inconvenience. We appreciate your patience as we restored normal operation. So what does this mean? It means that you may see a drop in organic traffic, conversions, sales, anything that is going on from the organic side if you were de-indexed. There's not a lot of information yet. Still waiting for some more. Dr. Pete over at Moz had a good, with small sample size, post on how bad their de-indexing bug was, and we'll put that in the show notes. But what you need to do as a marketer is to say, let's annotate this in Google Analytics. So we know from this point forward on the 5th, hey, there was a Google de-indexing bug if you saw a traffic drop, and it stopped on the 10th for sure. So the 5th through the 10th may be suspect data.
Suspect data. I like
Yes.
that. Suspect data sounds like a crime novel, and de-indexing bug sounds like a sci-fi villain. Like, I'm unleashing the de-indexing bug.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those super germs,
Ooh.
you know, that an antibacterial or what are antibiotics can't actually get. It's like, what happened? I'll get the de-indexing bug.
Yes. Biological. What movie? Tomb Raider 2, I believe.
Oh,
is
I'm
when
not familiar with that.
You're not? No. I think it's 2. I don't think it's 1, but they try to unleash like a virus on the world.
The de-indexing bug?
It's pretty much.
Nice. Well,
You should see the film. I'm not describing it well.
I know what happens. Fast forward to the 10th and everything's solved.
Everything's fine. Speaking of everything's fine, unless you are living under a rock, you know that Facebook's been making a lot of changes recently to increase transparency and safety because everything's fine.
Wait, I didn't know there's a problem with transparency and safety.
On Facebook?
Yeah.
Have you been living under a rock?
Yes, a big one. Yeah, Boulder. To block out all the news everywhere about Facebook
I don't blame
and
you.
data and transparency.
I don't blame you. This is good news, though. So Facebook has announced their latest improvement in this realm, and it is a new inventory filter. This is huge for anyone that's running ads on the platform. It allows advertisers to better control their content. Not their content, the content that their ads are served with when they're using the audience network, instant articles, or in-stream videos.
And this is something that Google Ads has had for a while, where you're able to say, I want to show up on this type of content, not this type of content, not political, so on and so forth, where you're just selecting where you're going to allow your ads to show.
Yes. So this is an update to that. It's a little bit more simplified, but I think it makes sense to do it this way. Basically, there's 3 levels of content now that advertisers can choose from. There's limited inventory, which they refer to as a maximum protection. They say it's kind of similar to the opt-in, the opt-in categories that you were just referring to that they had previously. Then there's the standard inventory, which is the default setting, and it's moderate protection for your ads, and it's the same as having no category exclusions.
I know where this is going, and they're trying to appease some of the advertisers. That's a bad way to describe your inventory. It's like, oh yeah, you've got maximum protection from where you could be on our network. And I get it, because they have the audience network, and it's more than just Facebook. So they have to have outside third-party sites on there that they might not be able to police. But to be like, I got maximum protection against the stuff in our inventory. Hey, take the stuff out of your inventory if we need to be protected from it.
Amen to that, because you can also go with the third level, which is full inventory or minimal protection. And in this, they caution that your ads may be delivered across all eligible content, which, to your point, like, shouldn't it all be somewhat safe?
I think if you pick full inventory there, you're getting that de-indexing bug. For sure. For sure.
For sure.
But that's, again, who's going to opt into minimal protection? It's a weird way to phrase it.
I guess it depends on what you're advertising for. Also, how much you pay attention, because the example that Facebook used was strong language. So you and I both know that there's much more unsavory content out there on the internet and probably in the audience network.
That.
You didn't?
No, I had no clue.
Well, good. I want you to stay in your little bubble there, and just, if we look at strong language as the example, then there, if you have maximum protection, no one's even going to say crap.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true. I made that up. I don't want anyone to take that as gospel. But anyway, yeah, there's way worse things out there than language. But my favorite thing about this article or this announcement, other than that actual content filter, which I think is really nice and makes things easy for advertisers, they said in here, and I quote, "Half of our 30,000 person safety and security team reviews more than 2 million pieces of content each day."
30,000 person safety and security team?
Yes.
Wow.
So 1/2 of that being 15,000. They're out there doing this.
Hang on, let me do the math quick. Checks out.
Perfect.
Checks out.
Get out your adding machine, your abacus. But what I want to know is, what is the other half doing? They did not say at all. I don't know why this sentence is even in this announcement.
They're probably riding scooters or something up and down the Facebook HQ.
There's just 15,000 people on
Right?
scooters.
Yeah, scooters, bikes, maybe outside. I don't know.
Maybe they're outside in the physical world.
Yeah, physical world security.
Amazing.
All right. And that brings us to the final article here in our main news section. And it is called Google Search Console Adds the Discover Report. And in case you don't know what Google Discover is, it used to be called Google Now, then was the Google Feed. And it is essentially your custom tailored Googly News articles fed right to you. If you are a Pixel user, you typically find this baked into your software when you swipe left. And it's that curated news feed that Google gives you based off of all of your browsing data. And previously, it had been tough to break out what percentage of your traffic actually came from Google Discover. And thankfully, Google Discover data is now coming to Search Console.
So it'll be easier for people to discover information about their Discover content.
I see what you did there.
It was a thinker.
You're a sly one. And if you want to know more about Discover, we covered it back on episode 42, the episode titled Save Organic Traffic, which I think it's been saved. So
I think so.
we
Other
did
than
our
the
part.
de-indexing bug.
Yes, minus that. Maybe this one should be called Save Organic Traffic Part 2. But yeah, so look for that coming soon. It has showed for a few folks in their Search Console. I've seen it on Twitter popping up, and it is coming up for more users. And if you are getting a substantial amount of traffic from Google News, you're probably getting some from Google Discover. You might not have even discovered yet. There, right back at you.
Thank you for volleying that back. Something else of note here, too, they did say that the data will go back as far as March 2019, which for anyone that doesn't know, that was last month. So pretty fresh data here. It'll grow from there, but it doesn't go back too far. It's a little bit retroactive.
Yeah, it's 1 month. It's 1 month.
Not even a whole month, really, because it was like 2 weeks ago.
All right. And that brings us to this week's lightning round.
Pew, pew. And here is what's happening in the paid universe this week. First up, drive more action with new conversion features on Pinterest. So the platform just announced new features that, quote, make it even easier for businesses to connect with pinners, optimize their Pinterest ad campaigns, and achieve their conversion goals automatically. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you what the feature is called, and I am going to ask you what you think it does.
Okay, so we're trying to get more features for more conversions.
More conversions. And they're launching a new campaign type called conversion optimization.
Wow.
What do you think it does?
Maybe it gets you more clicks.
Wrong.
Wrong.
The opposite. So it'll optimize for conversion actions versus clicks. And obviously, we all know that Greg was joking. He's smarter than that.
I am.
You are. I don't think people question it. But anyway, they've also added promoted video for conversions, which opens a larger view of the video upon click and also pulls up the advertiser's website as well. They called it a landing page that features those two things, but I don't really know what that means. They didn't show a visual example, so I'd be interested to see how that looks. But if you want to play with it, that as well as the conversion optimization campaign type are available immediately. So right now, if you have a business account and you can go in there and play with it. Go get it.
I love this. I love anything conversions. You know me.
I do.
I'm a big conversion fella over here.
As you should be. I mean,
As I
that's the whole
should be.
point.
So I am very interested in this. I think it's something everybody should check out. The one funny thing was this was announced yesterday, and I think you got an email on Wednesday.
I
right?
did.
You did,
Yes.
saying, "Hey, we've got this." And then what happened when you clicked through?
Nothing. It just took me, well, not nothing, but it took me to the ads manager and I was like, I want more information because I wanted to be able to talk about it on this show. And then they just released the announcement a day later. So if you're on their mailing list, I guess you get insider info that nobody else has yet, but don't expect much more than a headline from that. Next up, a new study has found that 4 out of 5 Americans distrust Facebook and hate online ads.
New breaking study from the Greg Finn headquarters. 1 out of 5 Americans living under a rock.
Just you, 1 out of all the Americans. Well, this stat comes to us from PC Mag and a study that was done by Clever Real Estate. And they surveyed a lot of people for this.
Like millions?
Like 1,100.
Okay.
So their sample size is about as big as yours as far as who's living under a rock. And I'm really glad that they generalized these findings to all of America. But all kidding aside, if you want to dive in and read the whole thing, we encourage you to. There's a lot of interesting stats in there.
Yeah, I love polls from cleverrealestate.com.
I mean-
it's my favorite source. I used to like Pew Internet. They used to be my go-to, but no, for sure, Clever Real Estate. That's my go-to for all my marketing needs.
It's pretty amazing. Actually, this article started with, and this is not an exact quote, but something like, people care about how they're doing on Facebook with their advertising, even realtors. And it was like, oh, what a nice little segue into who did this study and why, I guess. I don't know.
Fun fact, do you know that you need to capital the word realtor? I think it's all caps.
Yeah, it's like a trademark term
I don't
too,
even think
right?
it stands for anything. I don't know. Maybe it does.
I wonder if it does.
I don't think anybody could ever know that.
We could Google it or bang it at some point.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's just like real, but then the Tor makes you the person of the real, but the real is the acronym.
I do know they just take it very seriously.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, if you're not a realtor and you say, "Hey, I'm a realtor," and you're not an actual part of the club, that's a problem.
Oh yeah. No, I know. Is that the same as a licensed real estate salesperson?
That's above my pay grade. Don't you like it when people say that? It's like, hey, well then act your pay grade.
Do you know that I said that this morning?
No, did you really?
I did. I said it to Cole in the office. He was saying something. I was like, I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
Like I could literally increase my pay grade by Googling the answer to that. That's what that means.
That's true. Well, you got a raise then if you Google
Okay,
it.
perfect.
You
I'll
get a
take it.
raise.
Thank you.
What were you talking about? Oh,
Who knows?
I know, but this stat, this 1 out of 4 people hating, or no, 4 out of 5. Not 1 out of 4. 4 out of 5 people hating online ads is particularly interesting because according to the survey, again, of 1,100 people, these ads are still quite effective, even though people don't like them. So 73% of people surveyed said that they've made a purchase or used a service because of an ad they saw on Facebook. That's a lot. Again,
So, again, I'm I'm getting rid of this survey.
Don't get rid of it.
73 out of what do you think the actual number of people that use Facebook out of those 1,100 people are?
I would hope all of them.
I wouldn't think 73% of people use Facebook, let alone bought a product off of
You're
it.
probably right. Well, maybe only 73% of people use it, and then 100% of them bought a product.
Everybody buys.
That would be very
Get on
skewed.
Facebook, folks. You heard it here first. Clever Real Estate. Check it out.
Do you want to take a guess? I know we're poking at this, but do you want to take a guess as to what the second most popular social network was as far as driving people to actually purchase?
If it were me, I would say Facebook would be number one. I'm taking into account cleverrealestate.com or whatever it is. I'm going to say Instagram.
Close.
Close.
Instagram
Is close
is
to
third.
is owned by Facebook, as you know. Okay, so it's third. So I'm going to say that they probably said Twitter.
Twitter is fifth.
How about Pinterest?
Fourth.
Like I'm blank. It's still Family Feud style, so I'm still.
You
on the
want to
board.
still play? Okay.
No, I'm still going.
Okay.
Because I haven't missed yet. I'm still top 5 on everything.
Okay.
So I need to get this here or I'm out.
Fair.
A bunch of realtors. I'm leaning LinkedIn, but I feel like people are going to say something else. So I'm going to go LinkedIn.
Is that the Family Feud sound?
Yes. And
tried.
now we need Steve Harvey to make fun of me.
Yeah, right. I don't think he would. He would. He makes fun of everybody. Number 2 is YouTube. But the number went down from 73% to 37%. So they just inverted the
barely
digits.
a social network. I know that technically it is, but LinkedIn is way more of a social network. YouTube's for videos.
YouTube's a search engine, isn't it?
It's the second high most used search engine. If you go to any Google presentation, they will say that. All right, so that's it. YouTube the second and Instagram the third. We'll give it to YouTube. It is a search engine and a social network. There you go.
Little combined.
Yes,
I like
it's a
that.
hybrid. That's what they call it.
Perfect. Is there any better news than this in the non-paid world, Greg?
I don't know. All right, but that brings us to our non-paid news. Anything organic we're going to cover here. First up, Google Search Console adds Android app filters to the performance report. And now you may be thinking, we used to have this data. You were thinking correctly, but with the new Search Console, we lost some of that data for how your app was performing in Google. But fear not, it is back. If you have an app associated with your verified property in Search Console, you can now open and see the volumes, the search data, everything that you could with your normal site within the new Search Console. My favorite thing, it's just a filterable radio button that you can check off.
That's so nice.
Yep. Click on over Android app data and you can see every normal thing you'd see in Search Console for your Android app. So I love that.
Love it.
Thank
Seamless.
you, Google. Next up, goodbye, Google Plus. Hello again, Google Currents. And I made that title up. That was
You
my
did?
title. I did.
You could be a journalist.
Yes. And I just need a byline.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
It's
best
got to
part.
be really good and descriptive and give away the end.
Yes, and so you don't need to read this story at all.
Nope.
But basically, Google Plus has ceased to exist, as we've covered many times before, here in April.
We covered the fact that it was coming, but it officially died last week, right? And we didn't even say our piece.
I think we said our piece and gave the killed by Google list. Maybe not.
I don't know if I'm remembering that correctly.
We'll have to get our stats and info team on this so they can look it up.
We have to get a stats and info team.
Yes. Yes, we need that first. And then that'll be the first
Then we'll get
task. Absolutely. But this is something I actually think could be interesting. I would never use it. There's a difference between interesting and me using it. But much like Facebook has Workspace, which is their business Facebook, and we tried it here at Cypress North,
Yeah.
and it didn't last very long.
No.
But this is going to be something that is, again, now called Google Currents, that is rolled into G Suite. And it is not an additional cost, unlike Facebook Workplace or Workspace or whatever it is, Facebook work thing.
Whatever.
And if you thought you have heard of Google Currents before, you were right. There once was Google Currents, which was their magazine kind of like news item that's now Google Newsstand. But they just apparently loved the title Google Currents, and so that's what this is now.
So, two gripes with that. One, they're using the same name for a different product.
Yes.
Confusing.
Yes.
2, I don't like currents, the plural.
I don't either.
It doesn't roll off the tongue. Why not just current? Like you're staying current.
Promoted. New pay grade.
New pay grade.
You hit it. There's no pay grade above you anymore.
Right though? Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to go check my currents feed. Like it just doesn't, it's hard to say.
And you can also be like, hey, what's current?
Right?
Try saying that with an S. Can't do it.
What's I can't.
Can't do it. Exactly. But anyway, if you are a G Suite user, you'll have access to currents. I do not think it is available yet. I think you have to email somebody, but coming soon, you'll have that. If you are an administrator, and it costs nothing. It is included with the price of subscription. And that's why I think it's really interesting is if you can get people to use a free tool internally to help accelerate your communication or improve your communication, that could be cool. But I would never use it just because of customer support. It would never make sense for me to rely on anything for Google customer support.
I sense some anger.
Sigh. Okay. All right. Next up, we have an article from Google itself called "A New Type of Answers from Your Google Assistant on Android." And now you're getting richer results in your answers that you do with Assistant on Android devices. So previously you used to type in or ask Google for maybe a stock ticker and you'd see the price. Now you see charts. You might ask for something specific to a product and you'd get some listings, and now you might see imagery. So it's a good example of using rich data, how you can enhance those listings to improve your look on your Assistant results.
And it is a much improved look. I was flipping through the screenshots.
It is.
Did you look at it? It's like, I don't know, light years of difference. It's something I would actually, I mean, not that I wouldn't read the results if I made it a search, but it's easier to digest. The only thing though is that in this article, they also announced some new tools that they were launching with this. And if you flip through the screenshots, you get used to a little before and after. And, you know, for the visuals. And then on the last slide, they show you these new tools. So I, for a second, thought that the color picker was an updated version of the bubble tool. And I was like, that doesn't look more helpful at all.
But yeah, there are a few other tools there as well. But from the marketing perspective, I think, hey, this is a good reason to make sure everything you've got from a rich standpoint is in line. We've seen it before. We've talked about it in the past few months to the fact that we're now seeing imagery in the mobile search engine results pages.
Yep.
Just this week, I didn't include it in the news because it's kind of minor, but we're seeing images in site links as well. So you see more and more imagery come through, a better experience. Again, I'm still true to the fact that I'm a 10 blue links kind of guy, but I see why people like having more rather than less.
Yeah. I mean, and it actually looks good. It's, I don't know. They did something with cute cats in there too. A nice example. So I'm always in favor of that.
They did the best cats or the cutest cats.
Which is very subjective. Who are you to say? Not you specifically, but no, who did they, petfinder.com, I think? What are they, an authority on pets?
Yes.
How could they possibly be?
They find pets.
Find them cute?
Yes, they are the finder of cute kittens. But yeah, in the example, if you want to see, you can understand who are the cutest cats according to Pet Finder. All of them. In the example. All right, next up, more information and news from Danny Sullivan at Search Liaison on Twitter. There's new search operators for searching for in between different times and dates. Before, you used to have to choose a range. You could put in a custom range or a set of prefabricated ranges, if that's a word. Prefab ranges?
Prefab.
Prepopulated?
Probably that makes more sense.
What you can do now is you can just say before : and you can put in a year. If you put in a year, it will default to January 1st of that year. Or you can put after. Or you can just put in a date and say 3-1-19, and you can see before March 1st, 2019. Additionally, you can put in a underscore, or maybe not an underscore. You can put in a dash or a slash. So slash or dash, and you can do that as well. But it can help you say, I'm looking for something before this date or before this year, and not have to choose it out of the date picker.
Hot, important question.
Yes.
Are you a slash or dash guy when you write your dates?
Slash.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, looks better.
I think so too. And dashes, when used the right way, they're really striking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It chops them up.
Yeah. Well, it's like March
dash,
ended
boom.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, I just dash them.
Wait, you dash them or you slash them?
Dash them, not slash them.
Oh, I slash them vertically.
Are you writing these out or are you typing these in?
Both.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, my problem is many times when you're saving a file name, you cannot slash. So I've become accustomed to dashing.
I think that we are saying the same thing, but we are using different words. Which are you calling which?
Whether you have a backslash or a forward slash is a slash.
Yeah.
The line is a dash.
Okay, that's what I thought you were saying. So you can't put forward slashes in file names?
Not
I guess
usually.
you can't, can you?
No.
I don't know. Never really tried.
That's why I'm just become accustomed to a dash.
I do spaces. You know what I really like actually written out, not in handwriting, but typed? Periods
Why?
between days. I don't know. It looks good. I like phone numbers like that too.
Oh, in between. I agree with you. I
Yeah,
thought
like
you just
instead
meant
of a
I
slash or a
dot.
dash.
I'm like, what
Oh,
dot?
yeah, no, at the end. No. Between. I think that's
I
the
agree.
ultimate.
I agree.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate. You heard it here first, folks. Periods. That's the new protocol moving forward. Next up is an update from Twitter Safety at Twitter Safety on Twitter. And they've got
No way.
the post called follow, unfollow. Who does that? ? Spammers. Period. So we're changing the number of accounts you can follow each day from 1,000 to 400. Don't worry, you'll be just fine.
That's a nice tweet.
It's a nice tweet.
I like it.
The thing that I'm having problems with in my old age is consuming all this information in every medium possible. I'm looking at things from John Mueller on Google, on Twitter. I'm looking at Search Liaison. I'm looking at Danny Sullivan, the Google blog, everywhere. I just want one source for all this stuff.
Marketing a clock?
That's why we're here, folks.
Hello.
No, I got to follow at Twitter Safety for all my Twitter marketing stuff. Anyway, you can't follow more than 400 people in a day.
Shoot.
So all you auto followers, you're going 40% of what you were before. My favorite thing was a follow-up tweet from at Never Sit Dull, or Nevers It Dull, one of the two.
Never is it dull and he just left out an I?
I don't know.
It's like a license plate. You can never tell.
We'll have to link to it. But what he said, this Josh fella, is he said, you should have made the new limit 403. That way, any attempts after, you could just be like, sorry, 404.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's kind of a nerd joke.
I like it. It's good.
All right, next up, 20 million vehicles shipping in 2023 will come equipped with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant, or both.
Ooh.
So that's pretty cool. Another reason to work on your skills or actions. And skills are an Alexa thing, and actions are a Google Assistant thing. So if you are having specific protocols in there, hey, you're going to be on a lot of cars, apparently. They know what's happening. They got all the 2023 schematics.
I know. They? I guess they're already working on those cars.
I don't
It's
know.
4 years from now. Because
Yeah.
I'm the math and time person.
Oh, look at that. We don't even need it. Hey, take that Indeed posting down for the stats and info team. You've jumped up to another pay grade.
Yes, I thought I couldn't get any higher.
No, you
I'm
want
getting
one more.
so many dollars today.
All right, and now it's time for this week's
W
T.
H.
And this week's WTH comes from Brand Muscle, who is flexing with their 2019 State of Local Marketing Report. First up, this is gated content, and it's worth looking at just because it is beautiful. Did you look at the graphics on it?
It's actually the whole report is just
Oh,
very,
it's
very
stunning.
nice. Yeah,
And that's not why it's here in the WTH, but
No.
I just feel like I need to give them their justice. And
yeah.
it's not even Brand Muscle that I have a problem with. It's the fact that they are getting data from people who are atrophied. They don't know what they're talking about. They've lost all connection to the real world. And they interviewed many local business owners and asked about the top marketing priorities for 2019. Number 1 was social media advertising. Number 2 was website / landing pages. Number 3 was events. Number 4 was email. And number 5 was door-to-door direct mail and flyers. Near the bottom 3, paid search, online display ads, and mobile targeted display ads. All were substantially below the door-to-door direct mail and flyers. And so I was thinking, what is going on? And they broke it out into a really interesting quadrant display. Again, it's worth looking at if you are interested in this, where they looked at the usage that people are using and then also the perceived effectiveness.
Keyword perceived.
Yes.
By the way.
And that's where the WTH comes from. I feel like people just don't know what's going on at this point in life.
Well, honestly, unless you're in digital, and I know I love what we do and I'm a nerd for it, but can you really track all that well?
No, you can't. And mini rant here, you can be a highly touted digital agency and still suck and have poor performance.
Also true.
Really, really terrible performance. You wouldn't believe the stuff that we've seen here at Cypress North.
Yeah, it's a rough.
But anyway, what I thought was interesting was that according to these local folks, the perceived effectiveness of paid search was under that of radio. Yikes.
But first
What are
of all,
you doing? What are
who's
you
listening
using?
to the radio?
Express? Are you using Google Express?
Well, probably because they try to force you into that.
Yes.
We don't have enough time for me to say the things that I want to say, but I would like to point one thing out here.
Please do.
Because you went through the top 5 things that they listed that were top priorities, but they also broke that down based on how many people it was their first, second, or third priority for. And the difference between door-to-door and website was so close. 12% of people, their first priority is door-to-door. 18% of people, their first priority is a website. And there's no way that that's just because 82, if that's the math, or however many people out there just have these amazing websites that don't need work. I don't think that that's true.
I just reposted the stats and info job again after your math on the fly. No, I'm with you. I'm with you. And I think, and to me, it's just an interesting look into the minds of local folks. And to your point, like there's something that I couldn't wrap my head around is the fact that from the usage, something you think people are doing quite a bit of, higher than many other things, banner ads, online display ads, paid search even flyers and promotional, was TV.
How expensive is TV?
You understand because you're here.
I do.
But
go ahead.
We have such a hard time getting video assets. How are these local people, they can't do anything how are they doing TV?
I don't know. And that's the other thing too, is that because this specifically looks at local businesses, and I don't know how many, and I'm allowed to say this as a local business owner, I can rant about this. I don't know how many people just don't put effort into digital. And if you were the one business locally in your space that had a website versus just a Facebook page or nothing at all in most cases, you would be light years ahead of your competition because people could look you up.
Yeah.
I don't know why these aren't higher priorities on the list.
Kudos to you local folks who are making TV ads somehow.
No, it's a waste of money.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, hey, you got it done somehow. That's impressive.
Yeah, I guess.
That's an impressive waste of money. How about that?
Yeah, nice for you that you have that money to waste. Okay. Does that bring us to the next segment?
It absolutely does. Cool Tool.
And I just as a reminder to our listeners, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something cool that we found in our travels that might be of use to our listeners. So this week we found something that is like Search Console, but better. And those are not my words. Just because I haven't used this, full disclosure, but I looked at it and it looks like they might be right, but I encourage everyone to try it out for themselves. BigMetrics is the tool, and it's at bigmetrics.io. And that is what they tout themselves as a Search Console, but better. They archive your site's data from Search Console. So it is Search Console data, but they turn it into more insightful reporting that's actually aimed at helping you improve your organic performance. So you don't have to mine. I mean, you still have to pay attention, obviously, but you're not in there mining for something. They're going to give you actionable insights.
I love this concept where you have tools that take existing data that's really hard to get in proprietary and then build off of it. Yes. I know there's a lot of things from a lead feeder that takes analytics data and then shows specific companies and ties data together. I love the fact we're building off of something that's great instead of trying to be great number 2.
Yeah.
So that's why I think this is so fantastic of an idea, at least.
I agree. And it lets you see things like newly ranking keywords and performance metrics based on specific queries, but it can also help you identify cannibalization issues and a lot more diagnostic stuff. It also lets you test and track changes to your site and perform keyword research. So it's got a lot of power from what it looks like right in the platform itself. So it's really, really nice if you're working on organic. So go and check it out. It's bigmetrics.io. See if it's for you.
All right. And that brings us to our must-read marketing article of the week, an article so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show. This week's article comes from Growth Badger and Kyle Byers at Growth Badger, called Blog Statistics 2019, What We Learned from 1,117 Bloggers. This is an amazing article. Somebody should Byers Kyle a drink for his work on this article, where he took an interesting approach towards what people are doing with their blogs. And this goes more than just bloggers. This is for corporate news, corporate blogging. And he looked at the bloggers who are earning more than $50,000 a year on their blog and the lower income bloggers. But it's really interesting as to what people actually valued in what they were doing, about having eye-catching headlines, things like that, working on their email subscribers, all the different ways. It was so interesting. It is one of the most interesting articles I've read here in 2019. And you might be thinking, hey, I'll skip this one because it's towards bloggers and I'm not a blogger. Don't skip it. It's so interesting about looking at the expert opinions, how people are getting signups, the traffic sources that people have currently, content types, the projected traffic sources down the road. It is just really, really interesting. And it's interesting to see that split between people having a high level of success and people that are lower income bloggers. It's just a fantastic look, and I love the approach. So thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, some good visuals in there too, actually. So if you're a visual person, check it out. And that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch everything from this show on marketingoclock.com. Please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.